Noble Nashua 11-1. Pleasant Colony at 7-5 now. Ecizado at 9-1, and the long shots at 22-1. Glorious Song and 30-1 for Pete Moss. Pete Moss has won here a 2-mile race carrying 147 pounds, but it would seem to be a little out of his element here.
You know, you look at the trainer there, and I repeat the story I told you. The story of training is to overcome little problems, and he did it, the nervousness of Pleasant Colony, by putting him in the receiving barn before the race.
There's Angel Cordero, who is on Fabiano. Angel was thrown here after the 5th race today, but he seems to come off it all right. Number 5 there, Noble Nashua, who holds a track record here.
Look at them as they come out, Jack. So far, not a horse with a hair turn, not a horse upset, even with that vast crowd in the center of the paddock here at Belmont Park.
Old Handsome, Pleasant Colony.
And in a lot different frame of mind than he was here when he was defeated on Belmont Day.
Some idea of the crowd. That is a really crowded paddock scene here today.
Well, all the world loves a winner, and this is, I say, going into this race, probably the best horse in training in the world today, and everybody wants to look at him.
Number 8 there, Glorious Song, the Canadian filly. Number 1, Amber Pass.
Jack, sometimes among the things I mention about trainers, we are accused of the strategy of delaying entrance to the paddock. That has happened in major stakes that we have covered right here. Seattle Slew was late.
Very late.
Campo was very prompt. His horse was saddled, was not upset, but there was a little bit of delay in the saddling. One horse on the far end of our shot was a little bit nervous. And you are allowed within reason. They certainly want you to have all the chance you have to get the equipment on properly. And within reason, you are allowed all the time you need to put your equipment on.
Pete Moss, we understand, Frank, now was late coming in. That's the long shot in the race at 30. Horses going now in this $400,000, and here is number 1, Amber Pass, Cash Asmussen up, Sonny Hine the trainer.
Fast, consistent, good-looking, little short rundowns on, blinkers, in 17 starts as a 3- and a 4-year-old, 16 times in the money, only out of the money in last year's Marlboro.
Amber Pass. Number 2, relaxing with scratch. This is number 3, Fabiano. Angel Cordero Jr., the rider. Jan Nehru, the trainer. John Nehru, the owner.
As fleet as he looks, a sleek, fast-looking bay colt, Jack. Speed is his forte. Marvelous horse, always the question of distance. He'll have to go 1.25 miles today.
Number 4, Temperance Hill. Eddie Maple, the rider. Joe Candy, the trainer. Loblolly Stable, the owner.
We've seen him a lot, Jack. He's big, strong, he's exciting. He can run like the very blazes in the stretch, but on his forehead he has a little curl.
When he is good, he is very, very good. Number 5, Noble Nashua, ridden by Rubén Hernández, trained Zee Stable, the owner.
In the Jerome here, in which he set a new track record, he chased a very fast horse called Maudlin the early part of it, and then fired brilliantly in one of the best races I've seen this year. There he is in good condition. His rundown's on, and he's a winner.
Number 6, Pleasant Colony, Jorge Velasquez, the rider. John Campo, the trainer. Buckland Farm, the owner.
Well, on this side, you see that scar that we talked about during the Belmont no longer concerns him. He is heavier than he was early this spring. He is in a better frame of mind, and he is going to be tough to beat. He jogs off sound and is happy.
Number 7, Ecizado from Argentina, is ridden by Jacinto Vasquez, trained by Alan Jurgens.
Does not like to have the lead contested. He was a champ in Panama. He won the Brooklyn Handicap here. He'd like to be in front alone.
Number 8 is Glorious Song, ridden by Robin Platts, trained by John Cairns.
A brilliant mare last year, a little less in ability shown this year. She's the only female in the race.
And number 9, a long shot in the race, Pete Moss, ridden by Frank Lovato Jr., trained by G. Fuente.
A marvelous story. 5 screws in his race, in his leg after surgery, and he's run better now than he did before the operation.
And now, carrying on in the great tradition of Jim Daly, here is a report from our Charles C. Canny from her position on the track.
Well, Jack, everyone thought the world of Jim Daly, so it's an especial honor to be able to follow in his footsteps, but I must say they are very big boots indeed to fill. The horses are coming towards me now. They'll be peeling off in just a minute to start going into their jogs and their gallops for the warm-up. It's a very important procedure. Sometimes you can get an indication of what to expect from a horse by how he warms up, and Jack, we'll be closer looking at this after.
All right, thank you very much, Chelsea. As we look down at Pleasant Colony jogging, we'll be back here at Belmont for the running of the Marlboro in just a moment.
Sweat on him and seems very calm.
He looks good, and we just need a little better luck.
Good luck to you, George. I talked to Cash Asmussen. He seemed to be pleased with the way Amber Pass was warming up. Also, Temperance Hill, as his usual self, was very calm and quiet. And I don't see anything out of the ordinary going on down here, Frank.
Chelsea, as you look up and down that field, of course, you commented that this is the time the riders get their last little warm-up, the last communication with the horse before they go in the gate. Is anybody there, in your professional opinion, excited or unduly stirred up before they go to the gate?
None whatsoever, Frank. Of course, it's a pretty cool day, and nobody's really breaking out at all, but everybody seems pretty calm. I'm going to fall in beside Jacinto Vasquez here. He's got a speed horse, Jacinto. Are you going for the lead?
If everybody take back, I will.
What about this track? He's never run on this kind of a track in this country, has he?
No, sir. We find out today.
Good luck to you, Jacinto. Have a good trip. I see Fabiano alongside me now. He's begun to break out a good bit on his neck, sweating under the reins, a little white lather showing. Angel, is that routine for Fabiano to break out like this?
He gets like that all the time.
Does he?
Just he's ready.
Are you worried about this off track? He doesn't really have a record for like...
Don't worry, I don't think he care much for the track, but the track is riding pretty good. So.
Have a good trip.
Right behind that one horse. Thank you. You good luck.
Thank you, Angel. Very nice of you. And there's
Angel.
Noble Nashua. He looks well. He hasn't really broken out, and they all are going over here in fine order, Frank.
Well, Angel, of course, is on Fabiano, and you'll notice when he goes into the gate, he'll have a man on his head and a man on his tail. His tail is lightly taken hold of just to quiet him in the gate. Some horses feel better if they have a man at both ends. Fabiano is one of them. Some of the other horses will be handled in there, and of course Pleasant Colony backs in. Pleasant Colony will go round to the front of the gate and back in. Glorious Song is led in with a shank. And there you see Pleasant Colony heading around. He's going to go around and come in backwards. And for the call of the Marlboro Cup, Marshall Cassidy.
Frank, they're just about ready to go in this race. There's Pete Moss on the screen. Rider Frank Lovato Jr. Pete Moss will eventually be the last horse to be entered. And you can see the front of the screen now, in front of the starting gate, and the camera located on the clubhouse turn. Now let's see who's going in. There's Hecazado right behind the starting gate. And after Hecazado, it will be Glorious Song and Pete Moss. A mile and a quarter, starting gate on the clubhouse turn, and the track is still muddy. Glorious Song, the only mare in this race, 1980 Eclipse Award-winning mare, is just about to go into her stall. You might notice that the stalls are loaded really from the outside of the starting gate, which gives this field a little bit of a straightaway as the gates open. Okay, Pete Moss is in. Here we go. The flag is up. And they're off. Fabiano on the inside goes for the lead. On the outside, it's Noble Nashua. Pleasant Colony is right there. Along the inside, Amber Pass. Cordero has Fabiano on the lead by a neck. But on the outside, it's Noble Nashua drawing alongside. And now Hernandez sends Noble Nashua to the front by a length. Fabiano is second by a length. Then Amber Pass in third by a length. Hecazado on the outside is fourth. Pleasant Colony has dropped back into fifth now. Then it's Glorious Song, Temperance Hill, and Pete Moss is eighth. Down the back stretch the first quarter in 24 and 4. Noble Nashua leads by 2. Amber Pass is second by a full length. And Fabiano is dropping back a bit now in third. Then Glorious Song on the inside, fourth by a neck. Hecazado on the outside is fifth by 3. Temperance Hill in sixth by a half. On the outside, Pleasant Colony is dropped back into seventh. It's 6 back to Pete Moss in 8th. The half 1.5 and 48-1. The pace is not fast. Into the far turn. Noble Nashua has the lead by a length and a half. Amber Pass has moved to the outside now. Is right there in second by 3. Vapiano in third by a half. Glorious Song gains on the rail. Glorious Song, the mare, has now taken third. Vapiano back into fourth. Hecazado is in fifth. They're approaching the top of the stretch with Temperance Hill and Pleasant Colony together. Those two are moving as a team on the rail inside of Hecazado. And they're moving on the leaders at the top of the stretch. 3/4 by 11 and 4. The mile is 35 and 4. The pace has quickened. Noble Nashua leads by 2. Amber Pass is second by 3. Then on the rail, Temperance Hill gaining ground. On the outside, it's Vapiano. Between those two is Pleasant Colony. But Noble Nashua leads back 16-4 by 4 lengths. Amber Pass second. Noble Nashua in front. Rubén Hernández on Noble Nashua, the winner in this race by about 4 lengths. Amber Pass was second. I believe Temperance Hill was third. In the 8th race, the Marlboro Cup, an exciting race. The time on the board, only 3/5 of a second off of the stakes and track record. Down to you, Jen.
Marshall, thank you very much. In a stunning upset here, Noble Nashua just about stealing it.
Well, the first instructions were ridiculous. The first quarter, 24 and 4, and he was walking in front. He jammed the entire field up. Did Rubén Hernández a great job, and even Amber Pass, when Asmussen realized it, was committed to second and couldn't get by him.
Couldn't get by him at all, and that marvelous time on this off track. Chelsea?
Noble Nashua is still full of run, and he's way ahead of me, but he looked like a fresh horse when he went by me. He's ready to run.
Well, he pulled up faster, Chelsea, than he went the first quarter. It was 24 and 4. And if you'll compliment Rubén for all of us for setting that pace and jamming up the field.
I have Angel Cordero here with Fabiano. Any excuse, Angel?
Track at all. He never really, he broke on the lane and he never really got a hold of the track.
He's blowing hard, Angel. He looks like he worked hard on the stuff. Angel says he didn't like the track. He didn't handle it.
Well, Trainer Nerud had said that he didn't like it in the Suburban, and apparently it was just enough off to defeat him.
Here is a very, very muddy Pleasant Colony, and I don't know if George Velasquez is ready with any excuse. He never really showed any run down the backside.
No excuse, really.
Do you think he didn't handle the track, George?
Could be the track. But he tried, you know.
He tried. He's a good horse, George. Thank you. Here comes Noble Nashua. He's coming back. He doesn't have a spot of mud on him. He looks very well. Let's go back here and
a very smiling Rubén Hernández.
Well, he can be proud of that ride.
If I had a translator, Rubén and Angel are having a tremendous conversation. Rubén, congratulations. Very good. Did you realize how much you were slowing the pace the early part?
I did, but, you know, I wanted to go as slow as I could, as long as I was in front, you know.
You did a good job.
And he really relaxed very good after the first quarter, and from there on, he was really...
Do you know you had a stakes and track record?
I didn't know that. I just was driving home.
Congratulations. Back to Frank for a replay.